Hi friends, welcome to Tutors Funny channel. In our last class, we have completed up to the school management system up to the migration part. We have already completed our migration part, right? So let's continue the tutorial. Okay, so now after that, we are going to create the we have all the things we have done it. So I'm going to create the another step. We have starting the documentation. So we have completed up to the migration level. After that, we have to create the controller, right? So we have created the controller, which is I'm not going to create the RESTful controller. I'm going to create the ordinary controller, which is a PHP artisan make controller, which is student controller. Because this is how we have created the student controller, PHP artisan make controller, student controller. Okay, you have to specify the name correctly, student, which is a not student, plural, singular, not plural. You just copy this command, paste on it. You have to wait until the controller created. You have to wait until the controller has been created. After controller has been created, you can see check here this controller has been created successfully. So I got the message. After create the controller, you can check it inside the app folder, HTTP controller student controller. Here we are, the controller has been created. Right. So after that, before I'm going to paste this code, we have to create the model which is nothing but communicate with the database to get the data. We have to fetch the data from the database. We have a relationship model and databases. We have to fetch the data or add the data. We have to communicate with the model to fetch the data from the database and pass into the controller. So the model is very important stuff which will be communicate with the database. So we have to create the model first. So what is the model I'm going to create? PHP artisan make model, which is student model. When you specify the name, don't use as students. This is a singular. You have to use student. There are a lot of students are stuck on this one. Whether we have put in the yes or not. Don't put the yes. Okay, just copy this, paste on it. Sorry. I'm not copy the command properly, that's why. Hit enter key on your keyboard. Now you can see the controller as the model has been created. Model where your model is created it inside the app folder. There is the model for inside the model for a student model. So here what you're going to do is you have to what are the models attributes are there. These are all things. Okay, so these are all things you just copy. Whatever you did it, you get it from here. Okay, so here we have to pass it one by one. So the documentation, if you have to go to the documentation here, you have got it here, get it here like this. You have to pass it over here. This is student name, you have to put it here, DOB, address and status. What is the name you are written on the migration? The same name you have put it here. If you give a different name, it won't work. Okay, the same name, but the name you have created the migration file of the columns. So all the column name should be same as it is of your migration file. If the name should be different, it won't work. So the first you have to observe whether the name is correct or not. Right, that's a very important stuff you have to write. This is a fillable column. This fillable column, via this column, it will be record will be go through your database columns. Okay, via these column names. Perfect. File save all. Again, I am going to open up the application. After that, we are going to create another one is a views folder. I'm going to create the views folder. Create the layout folder. Inside the layout folder, I'm going to create the app.blade. So where the views we need to create it here is, you can see here there's a resources folder. Inside the resource folder, views folder. Inside the view folder, I'm going to put the new folder, which is name it. I'm going to name it as layouts. Layout. Here I'm going to create this new app.blade.php. Okay, app.blade.php. The layout file, I'm going to create the layout file. Okay, the layout file I'm going to create these two things are only. So how to create the layout file I'm going to explain. Okay, so this is not, so you have to create it. So first I'm going to get the hold down the shift key down and press 1 on your keyboard. You get this mark. You automatically import the HTML standards. This is the HTML5 standards. Here inside the body tag, first I'm going to get the bootstrap. I'm going to attach the bootstrap. So I'm going to get a bootstrap. You have to go to the bootstrap respective website. Right, bootstrap. Click on this. Bootstrap. Click on the bootstrap. We have to go. We need these two things. The bootstrap CSS style and JavaScript, both we need that. Click on this. You have to paste inside the CSS inside tag. After the JavaScript part, you have to put it inside the body tag. Okay, don't put above, you have to put below. Before your body has been closed. Okay, before your body closed, you have to put it here. Okay, so you must put it this JavaScript. All the students are doing only copy the CSS only. If you are not copy and put it to the JavaScript here, if you are not copy the JavaScript, your response is not working. Okay, only the response is not working. The response is working via the JavaScript. So that this file is very important stuff. That's the thing how to do it. Right, this is the app.blade.php. Okay, so let's go to the documentation again. So this is the documentation we are writing. So after that, the yield content. You are the yield content. Right. Here, this is the content which is a middle of the content. This is the middle of the content. What need to display of the middle of the website? This is the middle content. Okay, each and every pages, the middle content should be differ. So that there's a middle content. There are the middle content of the website. Okay, this is simple stuff. This is middle content, right? So what I'm going to do is this middle content. So I'm going to go to create another file. Inside the views folder, we have created another pages. In the pages 2 files we have edited. Inside the view folder, we have created another files. We have created it as a. I'm going to create inside the views folder. We have to put it here. The views folder. You have to create the files. The first file I'm going to create. Here I'm going to create. We have to create here as. You have to create the folder which is student. This folder file we have to create as index.blade.php. After the edit .blade.php, you have to create two files over here. Edit.blade.php, index.blade.php. So this page, what you're going to do is I'm going to this index.blade.php. So here I'm going to copy this all the codes snipped. I'll be explained step by step. Don't worry about that. Paste on it. Okay. So edit.blade.php also this code snippet. You just copy and paste. I will explain it. If you are doing this one step by step, it take too much of time to complete it. Line by line, if I write the code, simple HTML codes, I'm going to explain. Don't worry about that. It's very simple HTML files. Okay. Let's go to the index file. So here, this is one should be the layout folder. So the layout app. Don't put this one. Only the app. This is the extension blade.php, which is a Laravel, which is nothing but a Laravel extension. Only put the name layout. This is a folder name app. Okay, so app only. Okay, so this is the, if you are adding navbar, if you want to implement the navbar, you have to put it here, header section and footer section. On the middle section only here working. Each and every pages of the website, the middle content should be changed. Other content are never changed. So This is the content section. This is nothing but the content section. The content section is this content section of the website. Okay, so here you have to do the designing part of that. Okay, so here what is the designing having here is this, the project consists of small form and another small table. That's fine. That's the simple things. There are two components, form and tables. Okay, the form we have a first container. You start with a simple container, bootstrap container. After that we have a small heading. We have typed the small heading with the h3 tag, school management. After that first row, I'm going to make the simple space over here. Here we have space means here this one should be div class 2. We have to separate the spaces. Okay, almost the 12, the size is 12. So first we have to put it the 2 here 8, which is nothing but the 10. After that we have separated again with the 2. Okay, so that's how we have to make it. Okay, so we have to make it. Okay, so what I did here is you can see here. You can see here. You have tried it here. You can see the form area. It's a form area. We have style this form. You have to style it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here. This form. Okay, this form it consists of 3 fields: student name, DOB, and address. You can have a 3 fields of the form: student name, DOB, address. So the student name, what is the name you are given? The same name you have put it here. We have to go through the migration here. This one, what's the name of here? This all the name should be matched with this name. Match with this name. Okay. So the student name, DOB, address. Okay. After that, click register now button. It goes to the routes student action save. This is the route name. Okay, so which is handling with the post method. So go to the web route. Here we have to implement the routes. Okay, so this routes part I'm going to discuss about later on in my next video tutorial. These are the 3 fields. Okay, so this is a CRF token. We have to implement the CRF token is must, because if it is a valid form or not. Okay, without CRF token it won't work. When you work with the form validation, so the CRF token is must. The small value. So enter the student name, DOB, address, click register button. It goes to this is the route which name you have declared here. This route we have to implement it over the routes, which is nothing but managing the URLs of the Laravel. Okay, if you specify the URL, this URL will be communicate with the controller, and the controller will be communicate with the model and get the data and pass into the view. That's how the Laravel scenario works. Okay, this is how we have did it. Okay, so these are all the things I hope you have understood so far well. I'll be doing my remaining lessons. I will be touching with my next video tutorial. Thank you.